So we have seen asexual reproduction in organism. Now let's look on to asexual reproduction in plants. Asexual reproduction in plants are called as vegetative propagation, and the part of the plant which helps in reproducing, or the plant part which we use for asexual reproduction, is called as vegetative propagule. What are the vegetative propagules in plants? It's a stem, leaf, root and buds. Is flower a vegetative propagule? No. Why? Because it's the sexual part of the plant or the sex organ of the plant. So whatever is remaining other than the sex organ of the plant can help in vegetative propagation of plants. And we are looking on to the natural vegetative propagations that the plants itself exhibit. So when we see, we can classify vegetative propagules into stem, root, leaf and bud. Let's check each of these. First of all, stem. We already know that stem help in vegetative propagation in many plants. Normal stems without any modification, as we see in the rose plant, where the stems, when we cut it down and we will keep it or plant it in another pot, it will grow into a new plant body. So some of the stem modifications even help in vegetative propagations, and this modification can be classified into food storage modification and creepers. Food storage means this part of the stem is helping really in food storing, and creepers means they will be running through the ground. So let's see what are the food storage stems. Food storage stems can be basically classified into 4 types: tubers, rhizome, bulb and corm. So what are each of these? Let's check. First one is tuber. Tubers are the food storing stems which have no specific nodes and internodes. Really, we cannot distinguish a node and an internode of a tuber. Example of a tuber is a potato, which has no nodes or internodes when we see that stem part. The real tuber of potato is a stem which has no nodes or internodes. Really, each of the stem will be having nodal regions from which leaves and stems rise, and there will be internodal region, that's a region between 2 nodes. And usually in tubers we cannot really differentiate the nodes and internodes, and the node region can be represented by eyes, which are small depressions on the surface of the potato and from which a new plant rises or sprouts. Now let's check what rhizomes are. Rhizomes are really stem modifications which usually grow horizontal to the ground. They are underground stem modifications which grows horizontal to the ground. They will be having nodes and internodes and also have buds from which a new plant rises. Example of a rhizome is ginger, turmeric. They can grow. They will be always, when we are seeing a turmeric plant, we could see that a turmeric plant is growing like this, and underground the turmeric will be growing, which is the modified stem or the food storage stem, and the turmeric always grows horizontal to the ground, not vertical growth. It will be always growing, spreading through the ground horizontally, and they will be having nodes and internodal region and will be also exhibit buds. They are having the name rhizome, means mass of roots, and the mass of root is really rising from the nodal region, hence got the name rhizome. And the next one is a bulb. Bulbs are modified stems, basal stems in onion like plants. So you have already seen onion. What is the fleshy part of the onion that we eat? They are the leaves of the onion. So onion is really underground plant, and this part is really the fleshy part is its leaves, and we can see stem, which is the whitish portion at the base of the onion, and this stem will be having roots rising from that region, and from the stem a central floral bud will rise. So they are bulbs. Example of bulb are onion, garlic, etc. Now let's see what a corm is. So corms are underground modified stems which grows horizontal in the ground, and from the central bud a new plant will rise. Example is colocasia, amorphophallus, where in the amorphophallus and all you could see that the growth of the plant is really, the stem is really underground stem. It will be growing vertical, not horizontal, and there will be a single node from which the plant is arising. So we have seen stem modifications for food storage. Now let's look on to the stem modifications that is growing through the flora as creepers. They can be further classified into runners, offset, stolon, suckers, and aerial shoot. Now let's check all of these. First one is runner. Usually when we see a runner, they are usually seen in plants like grasses, where the grass will be like this, growing in the ground, and there will be lateral branches from the grass that will be growing underground. This is the ground. So lateral branches will be growing underground. From the very next node, a new plant will rise. So these are examples of runners, where the underground portion of the stem from which a lateral branch will rise and will grow horizontal underground, and from the second node a new plant will rise. Example is grasses. Let's check what offset is. Offsets are almost similar to runners, except that they are seen in the water plants like water hyacinth, where a tuft of leaf and tuft of shoot root will be seen in the water plant, and a horizontal branch will rise, and from the very short internode and from the very short node that's coming first, a new tuft of leaf and tuft of shoot root will rise. Example, almost all types of water plants like water hyacinth, pistia, which goes for offset type of asexual reproduction. Now let's check what stolon is. So stolons, they basically have a stem which is seen aerial, from which a lateral branch will rise and it will grow oblique above the ground, and wherever it touches the ground again, a new plant will rise. So here the stolon and runner is different like that. Here the lateral branch is always seen above the ground, whereas in runner the lateral branch will be seen below the ground. So after stolon we have suckers. Suckers are seen in plants like banana. You have seen banana plant? Which is the true stem of banana? Is it the what we see outside? No, the outside part of stem is not really the true stem. It is the pseudo stem that is formed by the leaf sheaths. Really, when we see a banana, there is an underground stem from which the banana plant is really growing up, and this underground stem will be having some lateral buds, and these buds can give rise to a new banana plant. That's why whenever we see a banana plant growing, there will be small plantlets surrounding the big banana plant, and these are examples of sucker stems. So suckers are the stems, modified stems which are seen underground, from which a lateral bud rises, and from the bud a new plant will grow. So the aerial shoot, which is our final modification of stem. In aerial shoots, as in the case of a sugar cane, you have all seen sugar cane. Here when we see a sugar cane, it's having different nodes, and from the nodes sometimes we could see small tough buds. And from the aerial part of the plant, really it's not underground, it's aerial part of the plant, the buds rises from the nodes from which a new plant can grow. So it's an example of aerial shoot. Example is sugar cane.